Tyrann Mathieu back here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Tyrann?
Rich, I'm doing well, man. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. Better for having you on this show. What do you think about the national conversation focusing on the Carolina Panthers instead of your team?
Thought those guys rightfully earned that. Those guys are undefeated, really playing dominating football on the defensive side and offensively. I mean, Cam is probably having his best year of his career, so that's warranted. But we just like to go to work over here. We like to let our play do the talking for us, and hopefully we'll see those guys somewhere down the line.
So did you watch the games yesterday with your mini bye week coming off of Thursday night?
I did. I watched the Carolina game.
Okay.
I didn't watch it for too long. It got out of hand pretty quickly. So I waited for the Green Bay Dallas game to come on. There was some real good football on yesterday. Jaguars put up 50 points, so I guess yesterday was pretty interesting.
Yeah, so what did you see out of that Carolina defense for somebody, obviously who's expert at it? What did you notice watching that game and what they were doing to Atlanta?
I mean, they complement each other so well. Their defensive line gets great pass rush, and they're able to stop the run, and they're able to let Kuechly and Thomas Davis and guys like that run freely and make all the tackles. And then on the back end, they communicate so well. And obviously, Josh Norman, he's having a heck of a season, and even Kurt Coleman. So those guys have some playmakers on defense, and they stand out really well because they play so dominant.
So who's that person on the Arizona defense that draws it all together, do you think? Is it you? I'll throw it out there.
It's a core group of us, guys like Patrick and Calais and Rashad Johnson and Gerard Powers. Just a bunch of us that that like to take this thing by the head and like to lead our defense in the right direction. I thought all season we've been doing a great job at it, but obviously there's things we can improve on.
And then you've got the OG and Dwight Freeney with the spin move, sack, force, fumble right there on Thursday night.
Yeah, it pays dividends to have a guy like that on your team, especially in situations like that. He's so comfortable in those situations. He's been making those plays for decades, and it's great to have that guy on our team.
It's interesting, Tyrann, you say it pays dividends because I think it paid him particular dividends, correct, with that one sack?
It did, and I heard that it keeps going up after this, so I hope he keeps getting to the quarterback, man.
That's right, and then he buys dinner for everybody. I'd imagine.
Right.
I'd imagine. I've got Tyrann Mathieu here on the Rich Eisen Show. What has been your greatest improvement in your game this year, would you say?
I think just being a leader, man. Understanding our defense, able to communicate it, and able to teach other guys our defense. I think that's the huge benefit for me this season. I'm able to help other guys, put other guys in position to make plays, and just that communication, man. Communication is so key at this level, and I've never been a guy that talked a whole lot. I don't say two words, but on a football field, you have to communicate, and I thought that was something that I got better at this year.
And we were showing some video while you were talking, Tyrann, and I'll explain it to the radio audience, too, of you coming off the backside and corralling Adrian Peterson on Thursday night. It looked like you were just jumping on him and trying and dragging down a horse, it looked like. He's just so – what is it like defending Adrian Peterson?
I mean, it's tough, man. That was probably one of the toughest challenges I've ever had, is trying to stop a guy like that. And I think the first play of the game, I actually had to make a one-on-one tackle with him. So I got it out of my system pretty early. But, I mean, he's so dangerous, man. And even when you get him in the hole and you think you have him bottled up, I mean, he's been doing this so long, man. He's able to get up out of there. And, yeah, it's great speed, great vision, and then his power. I mean, he's definitely one of the best in the league.
Tyrann Mathieu joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Who's the best receiver you've faced this year?
Best receiver I've faced this year. I mean, I would have to say Antonio Brown, but, I mean, he didn't have his quarterback that day. But the route running and everything else was still there. They just really couldn't give him the ball that day. But he's probably the best one I've faced on film and in person.
Yeah, I mean, so who would give you, I guess, a bigger fit? A smaller he doesn't like to be referred as a smaller guy because he plays very big. But, I guess somebody who's a big, tall receiver outside the numbers or somebody that can really do most of the damage cutting on dimes across the field.
Well, I think for me is, I think week in and week out, I'm matching up with these 6'6", 6'7" tight ends, and I think that's the toughest challenge for me. These guys are running those big boy routes. They're bodying me out, so they're basically blocking me from the ball, and it's basically pitch and catch with the receiver and the quarterback and the tight end. I think that's the toughest challenge for me. I usually handle the quick guys pretty well because I'm able to change directions with them. But it's just those bigger guys. It's hard to get around the body sometimes.
Would you say it's fair that you've turned the corner personally for you in your personal life, or do you every now and then have flashbacks to times when things weren't so good for you, and sort of go down a rabbit hole in that regard, Tyrann, if I may ask?
Yeah. I thought I definitely turned the corner in my personal life. Different things I've had to handle, different challenges. I felt like I've handled those challenges well. But like I say all the time, Rich, I'm still in that process. Every day I wake up, I'm constantly reminded of where I was 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. So for me, it's a steady grind to get better and to just trust the process that I'm in, and and to continue to surround myself around responsible people, accountable people, people of high quality. My journey isn't done yet.
So what are those reminders? Is it people like me and the paparazzi who bring it up, or is it something else?
No, I mean, the media, you guys have a job to do, and I understand that. I think it's just certain situations. Maybe you run across a certain kind of a person, and it reminds you of a certain person, different situations. I think it's that. But like I said, I'm having a good time being who I am today. It's been fun. I'm back playing football. I'm back doing what I love to do. And I'm around a great group of guys every day. So for me, it's easy to come here, do my job, stay out of trouble, and not make any negative headlines because of the situation that I'm in. So I can't really take all the credit for it. But like I said, every day is just I'm driven off of where I was 3 or 4 years ago.
Tyrann Mathieu, Cardinals defensive back, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry tonight on Monday Night Football. A lot of LSU Tiger pride going to be out there. Which one of those guys do you think would give you the biggest fits to cover, Tyrann?
I mean, most people would probably say Odell. I mean, I would have to go with Jarvis. I mean, I think he adds that physical aspect to it. I mean, he's so physical after the catch, during the catch. But Odell is tough as well. I'm more excited about who's going to make the most one-handed catches tonight. That's really what I want to see. So, because I think Jarvis is right up there with Odell when you talk about catching the ball with one hand.
Right. So you think interesting? You go Jarvis over Odell in that regard.
I do because I think Jarvis is more physical. Mm-hmm. I think if Odell catch the football, I think I'll be able to tackle him.
Okay.
But Jarvis, he's so physical. I mean, he basically turns into a running back with the ball in his hand. So I think that he has that other element to it. But Odell can definitely run away from you. I mean, I guess they both can give me fits.
Yeah. Well, and who's more physical on your team, Tyrann? Is it Patrick Peterson or Larry Fitzgerald, who's road grading Michael Floyd into the end zone? Who's more physical?
I have to go with Fitz. Mm-hmm. I mean, our coach came in here, asked him to block DNs and outside linebackers. He does it, and doesn't pout, doesn't say a word. And I mean, I know you guys seen that block on Thursday.
Pancakes.
That was just crazy.
Woo. Have you watched that in the film room yet?
Well, no, I've seen it on NFL Network. So you guys reran it, so I'll be able to see it.
Oh, we'll run it. No, I just figured that I don't know if you guys gotten together yet in a film room and watched that all together with everybody around, because that's what we were talking about with Marshall and Irv, saying that that's going to be a fun moment for you in the film room when you're all watching that together. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, we don't necessarily watch tape together, but Coach he'll definitely point it out in our next meeting, I'm sure.
Okay, so you've got the Philadelphia Eagles coming up this week. How far do you think this team's going to go, Tyrann? I'll give you that floor. I know it's sort of a meatball question, but I'd love to hear, your thoughts and what you guys are all talking about with Arians pushing the pedal to the metal.
Well, for us, we think the sky's the limit. Our goal when we first got together in the spring was San Francisco. to get there any means possible. We've done a great job up until this point. Got a couple more games left with some quality playoff opponents, so we have to finish those games strong. And once we get into the playoffs, man, it's a one-game season.
Okay.
So we really have to show up every week and just really play our best football. And I know our coaches are going to have us ready, and so will our captains.
Yeah, and you're on national TV again. It's just you're America's sweethearts all of a sudden, the Arizona Cardinals. So
well, it's fun, man, to win football games, and to have a type of coach that we have, and to have the type of players that we have. I think those guys deserve it a bunch.
Well, thanks for taking the time. I appreciate it, and I look forward to chatting again. You're one of my favorite guests calling in from the Cardinals. Thank you.
All right, Rich. Always good talking to you, man. Thanks.
You bet. That's Tyrann Mathieu.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.